Hey guys, welcome to my DIY channel. My name is Annalie, and in today's video, I have 3 farmhouse DIYs and an awesome collaboration coming up. So for this first DIY, this is actually gonna be a thrift flip. So I picked this up at the Deseret Industry for like $1, and I really like the black base, and so I brought it home, and I'm using some wax stain to give the outer wood edges some staining, and then I will be painting the black part of this white. I love how I just said I picked it up because it's black, and now I'm painting it white. But I do distress it a little bit, so stay with me. It's gonna be good, I promise. So this is Waverly White chalk paint, and I gave it a good coat, but then I go back over it with my sander and kind of lighten it up just a little bit, and there are some areas where the black kind of comes through just a little bit, especially around the edges. Using some painter's tape, I am designing a little striped pattern. I've actually done this before and I really like how this looks. I like to use chalk paint on the white because it sands off lightly really well and it gives a really good distressed look. So the paint tape was a little bit too wide, and so I just used my ruler to basically cut it down to size. Well, my ruler measured it and then I cut it down to size. Struggling. And then I used the tape to make some smaller lines on either side of the wider line that you guys can see here. And then this is just some black Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And then using my drill, I went ahead and I drilled a hole on the top, and then I drilled a hole on the side. And then these beads are from Joann's. This package of wooden beads came from Joann's, and they are amazing. There's these little hexagon beads that I've used in one of my last videos, but I kind of love them a lot. So I'm using them again and feeding these onto some jute twine and making this little pattern that you see right here. And then using some antiquing wax, I went ahead and got these all stained because I wanted them to match the frame. And they looked really good. And then I just fed the jute twine through each of those holes that we drilled, and I tied off a knot to make sure that they stayed on either side, and then also added a little bit of hot glue to glue the knot into place to make sure that it really stayed. And then just using some jute twine to hide the knots, I used some hot glue to glue on a little jute twine bow right here to give it just a little bit of embellishment. I actually saw this sign, a similar sign to this, at Hobby Lobby, but I also think that I have seen this exact technique on the Crafting Cousins channel, and so I definitely want to give credit where credit is due, so go check them out because I'm pretty sure they're the ones that did something very similar to this. And then just using my Cricut, I cut out this word together and put it down using the vinyl as a stencil because I wanted to keep the painted look with like the painted stripes that I painted on there. And then using some more black chalk paint, I went ahead and painted that on there. And then this project is done. You guys, aren't those beads amazing? Okay, so as for the collaboration, today's video is actually sponsored by Hoover. Hoover has sent me a carpet wash cleaner. It is the Pet Smart carpet cleaner. You guys might be wondering why I have this on my DIY channel. This is definitely not a cleaning channel, but I love cleaning supplies. This is definitely something that I would purchase on my own, and so therefore, since I value this is why I decided to collaborate with these guys, because this is something that I would definitely spend my own money on. So here is the Hoover Pet Wash. This is my dog Keg. This is why I need a Hoover Smart Pet Wash. Also, I have 4 kids, so this is a couple of reasons why. We have plenty of mud and dirt and you name it tracked onto the carpet. So Hoover sent me the Smart Wash Pet Cleaner, and I was super excited to try this out because I've tried out carpet cleaners before and I haven't been very impressed. You guys, I love cleaning supplies. I am that person that will like ask for a vacuum for my birthday. So it's so easy to fill up. All you do is add water to the top, add the solution into the solution container, which it comes with a sample, but Hoover also sent me some solution. Here is an easy, quick manual that comes right on there, and here is the carpet that we will be cleaning. Please look at all of the dirt and grime and mud. This is right by my entryway, so this is right where the kids come in and out from outside all summer long, and all winter long for that matter. So you guys, the ease of pushing this was just like pushing a vacuum. It was incredible. When you push it forward, it washes, and when you pull it backwards, it dries. And you guys are going to be amazed with how much water this sucks up. So right here, you can see how easy it pushes. And you can also, there is a button that you can set. You can push a dry button so that when you go over and over, it just dries it. It doesn't wash it every time. And the solution comes out automatically. Look at this close up and look at how much dirt is coming up right there. You guys, look how much dirt this is picking up. And then this is the drying part. This sucks up so much water, and then it has a heating component right there in the front. So it heats the carpet as it suctions, which really increases your drying time. The ones that I've used in the past take about 24 hours for the carpet to dry. And this carpet was dry in overnight. Easy. So here's the difference between the two areas. So of course, the right side is the spot that we cleaned right here. And then the left side is the spot that we have not cleaned yet. Here's the water. You guys can see the dirty water. Look how much this picked up. And this is so easy to empty. This pops right out. I dump it down the toilet. Look at all of the dirt that this has sucked up. The wand pops off. This is the handle, and it pops off into a spot treating wand. And then here is the attachable hose so that you can spot treat hard to reach areas, cars, or things like upholstery. And this suction is incredible as well. You guys, I'm very impressed with this product, and I will only share products with you on my channel that I actually would use or purchase or recommend, and I absolutely recommend Hoover. Okay, so this DIY is actually very similar to a thrift flip. This little sign here is from Hobby Lobby. I got it in the clearance section for $1.99, so I basically thrifted it. So I took it apart, took out the screws that was holding everything together, and then this was already black, and so I just used some white chalk paint to give it some distressing. Using this piece of wood here that's just in my scrap pile, I cut this down to about 8 inches tall, and then I just used some Waverly white chalk paint to give this a layer of white. And then using my Cricut, I just cut out this decal that just has the stacked farm animals, and it says Farmhouse right there. I actually just kind of threw a couple of the decals together to make this and transferred this on. I did hot glue that white board onto there, of course, right there in the middle. And then once I was done with that, I just embellished it with some greenery, which I lost the footage of. But this is just some greenery from Hobby Lobby, 50% off, and just put a jute twine bow on it. And here you have a cute and simple but beautiful farmhouse piece. And for this last DIY, we're going to be using this scrap piece of wood that my husband actually gave me, and it already had this awesome divot cut out of the top of it, and so we're going to be using this to make a little letterboard sign. So this is a sign that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I just scored this, snapped it, and cut it with a razor knife, like a box cutter, and just to give it a little bit more of the shape that I wanted it. And then I gave it a whole layer of some chalk paint in Waverly white, and then as soon as this was dry, I kind of distressed it with a little bit of black and then sanded over it just to give it a little bit of smoothing distressing. Make it look rustic farmhouse. And then these, so that piece of wood that I showed you just barely, I actually cut it in half because I wanted to have 2 layers of this. So this is just that same piece of wood cut into 2 pieces. They're about 7 inches long each. And then I gave each one of these pieces of wood a good coat of white chalk paint. And then these little scrap pieces of wood, I just cut these down to size to fit the frame. And then this is ebony Minwax stain for the black because I wanted to go with the black and white. And then using some wood glue and hot glue, we glued these onto the edges and used some of these clamps that you can get from the Dollar Tree to hold these in place while they dried. So the little pink ones you can get at the Crafter Square. Those bigger red ones you can get over in, I found them in like the auto section where you can get like car air fresheners. And so I got some bigger ones as well. But here you can see the distressing of the board that I did. There's some black that's kind of coming through there that I just kind of sponged on there and then sanded that a little bit. And then I just used a paint stick size piece of wood and I cut it down into these 1.5 inch size pieces and also stained these using the color ebony in Minwax stain. Using my Cricut, I went ahead and I cut out the letters that I wanted this little letterboard to say, and you can change this up. You can do every letter of the alphabet if you want to. I had a particular saying in mind, and so for this video, I just did the particular saying, but I went ahead and I put the vinyl onto each one of these blocks, and then I had some footage of me putting these on and embellishing this sign just a little bit more, but I lose a lot of footage, guys. I feel like I say that in every video where I am losing footage. I don't know what's happening. Actually, what I think it is my SD cards are almost always full. And so I think that I'm filming when it actually like runs out of room on the SD card and it just goes away. So then I just keep making my projects and I have no footage of it. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. But anyways, we glued these on and then I put some jute twine on them to embellish them a little bit, and this says be a value. Now, you guys are probably wondering where this saying is coming from, but don't worry, you do not have to wait long because you will find out if you watch my end segment. You will find out exactly where this saying comes from, and it is incredible, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Again, thank you so much to Hoover for sponsoring today's video, and make sure you guys check out my description box down below for all of that information. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know which one was your favorite, and let me know who's excited to get back into like year-round everyday decor. If you guys are new here, this end segment is just a quick part where I share something with you guys that I have found valuable in my life. So if you guys aren't interested, go ahead and turn this off. You've seen the DIYs and you're done. That's why I saved this for the very end. But if you'd like to stick around, it's gonna be good. It's always good, you guys. So, okay, I even wrote it down. Like I have notes. Who's excited? I'm like really close to the camera. Okay. Another Darren Hardy video. Okay, I'm on a kick. I know, but he's just awesome. He's putting out such great content right now. And I really felt like you guys would be excited because I know a lot of people who watch my channel are also YouTubers, or they're on Instagram, or you're DIYers yourself. And this is about networking, okay? So this video that I'm going to be talking about is from Darren Hardy, and it's linked down below. So he will have the full version. I'll give you the quick version so you guys can make sure you can go check that out. But it is 7 mistakes that networkers make, okay? Networkers, like people who work on the internet, YouTubers, and stuff like that. Also though, these all can contribute to just personal relationships. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. Okay, mistake number 1, you don't show up. Sure, you might show up and talk to the camera, but honestly, how many people do you see that just show up as like a husk of themselves? They might be in front of the camera, but they might talk very monotone, they might talk very dull, and they might not be very excited. Sometimes I probably get too excited about this stuff. I get very passionate, and these end segments actually can be very long. I cut a lot out because I talk a lot. So you really want to make a great first impression, okay? So when you are talking to your viewers or your people in network, or even just people in general, if you are getting a new job, interview, you want to make a great first impression. And a great first impression always is reflected with positivity. You want energy. You want them to be upbeat. You want that positivity. If you're going to try to get somebody to come see you or come to your channel or come to your Instagram page or your Facebook group, they are going to be drawn to the ones with passion and energy and positivity. So make sure that you show up. Whatever it is that you're doing, show up, bring it, have positive energy, get excited, show your passion, let them see your mistakes, be vulnerable, but show up. Truly show up. Be who you are and bring it. Mistake number 2, you beat your chest to death, okay? So when we have something awesome, we want everybody to know. So when we get out there, we're like, hey, come look at all my stuff, like my DIY channel. Come look at my DIYs. Come look at what I can make. Come look at what I can do. We beat our chest because we're like, we're awesome. Well, we are awesome, you guys. We are awesome. But we need to learn to listen first. These people don't know us. Our viewers don't know us. One of the biggest things about this tip is learn and listen, okay? You're inviting people who don't know you to come to your channel or to come to your page and stick around. But learn about them and listen to them. Listen to your viewers, listen to your people, listen to your friends around you, listen to your colleagues, and learn about them. Be interested before you are interesting. So be interested in other people. Genuinely try to learn about other people and listen. Mistake number 3, you get all grabby. This one was a little bit harder for me. Getting all grabby means like they take a bunch of business cards. He talks about it. When you watch the video, you'll see. He talks about grabbing a bunch of business cards. So in our realm, it could be like you make a bunch of collaborations. You reach out and you want to collaborate with everybody. You take somebody's business card, right? Or you take their YouTube business card. But are you actually going to follow through if you have so many business cards? Are you actually going to call each and every single one of those people that you say yes to? Make meaningful and memorable connections with people. Don't just take their business card just to humor them. Actually make meaningful relationships. Number 4, you make BS promises. Anybody ever done that? All right, sometimes I make BS promises, or what I do is I actually make promises that I can't keep. So I really need to be careful when I make promises, but you want to make sure that if you make a promise to someone, the biggest thing that you need with your network is trust. You absolutely have to have trust. If people can't trust you, or if they feel like they don't believe you, they're not going to stick around, or they might watch you for a little bit, but they're not going to stick around. Same thing with relationships. If they can't trust you, they're not going to stick around. It's just going to be a cordial relationship. So you want to make sure that you can be trustworthy. So if you make a promise, make sure that you keep a promise. Make sure that you keep a promise. And if you're like me, always under promise and over deliver. So if I know about myself, like it's a weakness of mine, I definitely don't want to say that I'm going to do something and then not follow through. I try to be very careful with what I say I'm going to do, but I always try to under promise and then over deliver, because then I'm not stuck in BS promising, because I just want to make sure that I people please or make sure that it sounds good, or I don't want to bring you in and tell you that I'm going to do all these things so you stick around and then I don't follow through with my parts. So that's a huge no-no. That's definitely, it goes without saying, but try not to make BS promises. Number 5, you play the short game. Relationships take time, okay? That is exactly what Darren Hardy says. That's a direct quote from him. Relationships take time. They are supposed to take time. All of this takes time. YouTube takes time. Instagram takes time. All of it. People aren't going to they're not going to show up on the first day and instantly be your best friend. They're not going to show up and instantly love you. Usually. Some people might, but for the most part, it all takes time. So don't play the short game. So don't jump into a relationship that you don't intend on keeping. So don't have a friendship that you can't nurture, or just be very upfront. So try not to play the short game. Darren Hardy explains this just a little bit better. Number 6, you're a taker. Don't be a taker. How many of us are takers? How many of us reach out and ask for things but we don't reciprocate anything in return? We want to make sure that we are always willing to give. In fact, we should be giving first before we take anything, because you do not want to be a taker. People do not stick around with takers. Okay, and number 7, you're a fair weather networker. Basically meaning that as long as the weather's fair, you're here, but as soon as it's dark and dreary, you disappear. So you can't just disappear and not talk to somebody for 6 months, basically ghosting them, and then all of a sudden you show up 6 months later and you're like, hey friend, hey girl, what's up? Let's hang out, let's be friends, let's collab, and then ask them for something. How many people can raise their hand and say that this has happened to them before? Be an all-weather friend. Stick around when it's dark, when it's rainy, when it's sunny. All right, this is the best part, you guys. And this is where my DIY, my last DIY that you guys just saw, this is exactly where this will tie in. So when they show up, they're not coming for us, they're coming for what you have to offer. So make sure that you give them what you have to offer. Give first. Don't be a taker. Give them value. Give them something. Give them a little bit more, like this end segment. This is me giving you guys some value. I want to give you guys just a little bit more. This stuff is just too good to keep to myself. I have to share it with you guys. And I get so excited and passionate, and I get these comments from you guys that are so amazing, saying how much that you love this, or this helped you, or it's what you needed to hear. And that's exactly why this end segment is the favorite part of my channel. It is my favorite part of my channel. Until you are of value to them, they are not going to stick around. They are not going to be loyal. You have to give them value first. Until you are of value to them, they won't even consider who you are or give you their attention. It doesn't matter how valuable that you think you are until you are of value to others. Be of value. Be of value to your family. Be of value to your colleagues. Be of value to your boss. Be of value to your community. Be of value to your church. Be of value. And that's exactly, you guys, it stuck with me so much that that's exactly what I put into my DIY that I have right up there. Be of value. I challenge you guys this week to find a way to be of value and make more meaningful and connected relationships. All right, guys, that's it. I'm sorry, that was kind of the long version, but you probably actually would have got the quicker version if you just go down and watch this video. It will be linked down below, and also make sure you guys go check out Hoover and all of the information in the description box down below, because they were amazing to work with. Thank you so much to Hoover for this collaboration. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys would like to consider sticking around, if you feel that this is adding value to your life, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you guys feel like this added value to your lives, please, right now, hit that like button, and if you'd like to, consider subscribing, because I do an end segment on almost every video that I have. And it is not my stuff, but I promise I love to share it, and it's always good stuff, you guys. I share great stuff, I promise. So, if you guys would like to stick around, I would love to have you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. With a company. My name is Annalie. Of course you know that. Is that better? Okay. All right, you guys. Another Darren Harden. So he says you don't show up. Mistake number one, like first. Okay, that's not right. Gotcha. Blech.